Oh, shit! Come on, give me a kiss.
People love my blowjob face.
It's a dictionary of dicks. What's wrong with this?
And mostly when I play, I'm like, I'm blowing shit up.
We have a self-jerking machine.
That's hot.
Aw, Mario, stop touching me. I'm your brother Luigi.
Pre-recorded live from across these great United States. Sometimes like to play with other things, but let's play with ourselves. All right, whenever you are ready, lovely lady, I am ready too. I almost said I'm a lovely lady too. I'm a beautiful princess.
Oh yay, we're twinsies.
Let's go seduce people. Princess.
Oh, you are? Well...
Wait, are we slut princesses? You're like, let's go seduce some people.
For money.
Oh, I'm a money whore.
You are.
I'm pretty bad at it because I don't have much money. That's the worst.
No, you're just bad at budgeting. You just spend it
Imagine a bald guy in a dress crying. That's why I can't get any men.
You know, as soon as you said that, like, I had my shoulders sort of, like, tensed and I felt really bad. So...
I thought you meant you were repulsed. I was like, that's awful.
No. Oh my God, Paul! Why would you just mention such things?
Pink's not even your
discuss?
color.
Yeah, pink. You'd have to have like a little beige, maybe.
I thought you were gonna be like, you have to have a little baby. That's why men leave too. I have my plastic baby. This is my baby Charles. Will you be his daddy? Where are you going, man?
He needs some fatherly love.
I do too.
Could you stroke my
Sorry.
What are you drinking?
I am enjoying some whiskey and coke.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Hey, folks! Welcome to podcast episode... Is this 13 or
I thought
14?
it was 14.
It's 13.
Oh.
It gotta be 13.
I believe you. It's pretty impressive that we've done so many that we're like, I don't even fucking know.
Yeah. Well, it's either impressive or just, like, really our memories suck. So it's pitiful, but...
I was trying to, compliment us. My brain's like, you can do it, big boy. Find the word.
We are good. There you go. I complimented us. We are good.
We done good with the talking thing.
We did the thing. I mean, we come this far without exploding or,
we come this
far. And in the end, it doesn't even matter. Does anyone listen to them anymore? Linkin Park?
I haven't recently. I hope they're not listening. They're like, oh, man.
Oh, man, let's go back to writing 90s depressing songs.
Have you ever seen a Spinal Tap?
What, like a process of a Spinal Tap?
No, the film. So there's the band in Spinal Tap, and they're like, our song's on the radio, and they're an old British rock band. And they listen to it, and they're like, yeah, that's our old song. And then the DJ's like, these guys are in the Where Are They Now category, and they're all like, oh.
Oh. You know, sometimes... No, sorry. But sometimes I wonder if we do say things and some people are listening and they feel bad. I mean...
That's the story of my life.
Wait, do you listen to the podcast and then feel bad?
Well, you know I can't listen to my own stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I listen to it and I feel pretty good, so I like to think that you would like it too.
I do. This is an interesting start to the podcast. We do pretty good podcasts, everybody.
Yeah, we're okay. I mean, well, you know, we have to, we're finding a new rhythm here because, you know, stuff is, podcast number 13 is starting off a little differently. I don't have my popsicle joke because we ran out of popsicles, so our rhythm is a little fucked up.
And I wrote a note. Usually I write some notes about what I did during the week so I remember them, and I lost my notes right before the podcast.
So you're a little disoriented, I think.
So what's new with you this week?
Oh, well.
Or since we podcasted last, actually.
Yeah, well, it was like 2 weeks. Anyway, so I never write notes, so I didn't lose a note. I never wrote it. Oh yeah, I put up a video basically saying, hey guys, do you want to request me playing games or give me ideas? Please do. And it got a ton of feedback, and I'm really happy about that because, I don't know, it just felt really nice to have a lot of people, you know, throw ideas out there. Like, a lot, it was nice because they told me about games that are new, and I felt good about that. So that's pretty much new with me trying to figure out how to play all those games.
Have you picked any of them yet, like, for a short list that you might do?
Well, I don't really have Yeah, I guess I have a short list, but it's more based off of, like, my economic stature. Like, what I can afford.
I can relate, because I've been watching Mad Max on Twitch, and I'm like, this game looks fucking badass. I want this.
It does, huh?
And then I'm like, well, I don't have the money for, like, a PS4 right now, or a new computer and the game, so...
I looked it up on Steam today, and I was like, holy crap, I can't afford that. Well, it's a new game, so...
Yeah, it just came out, I think, this week, maybe?
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it, and I'm not really one of the people that looks at game trailers and is like, whoa, my god, I need to check that out. But that was the one that I was like, oh, I'll look at it. It looks pretty fun and nice, but I'll have to wait till either it comes down in price or I get some monies. I actually looked up, have you heard of Alien Isolation?
I've heard of the name, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't know that much about it besides it's like a part of the Aliens or Alien series, but canon or something. But that looked really good too. It's horror, like you're going around the ship and it's dark and you're like exploring stuff. I'm not sure if it's actually like a first-person shooter where you...
Wait, is that an older game?
No, it's a new game. It just came out. I think it just came out. It's $50 on Steam, so it's expensive. But I do have a short list based off of availability and price. Because there was games that people were like, oh, you want to play, like, Dragon's Quest or Dragon Quest, and I looked up on Amazon, and it was like $70, I think. Like, there was a couple different prices, and there's a ton of those games, but I was like, okay, I'll probably play Resident Evil Code Veronica before I play Dragon's Quest, because you can find a copy of Code Veronica for like $12 on Amazon, and they're everywhere. So.
Did you look up Dragon's Quest on Good Old Games?
No, I didn't. I think it would probably be still expensive.
Is that by the same guys, I'm guessing, that did Space Quest and King's Quest?
No, I don't think so. Dragon's Quest, have you ever seen the box art for it?
No.
It looks like Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think King's Quest had anything to do with it.
I'm just like, every Quest game is made by the same people, and it's the same thing.
Well, you know, if you have enough quests in something, I assume that, like, they gotta have their hand in every pie, right? I don't understand that saying.
I was just thinking, I don't want to go to the bakery where people are putting their hands in pies. Ew. And I touch this one, you can eat it up. Ew. Lick my fingers.
It tastes like peach, Georgia peach, in my fingers.
I thought you were going to say pea. I was like, I put something else in that one. Ew.
It's cool because usually that breaks down the starch, but it didn't.
It's cool.
The baker is surprised at the fucking resistance of the starch. I don't think pea and starch would go well together.
I used to be a baker, and I never put anything in any of the pies I made, so...
Oh, come on. You slipped something in the pie. Yeah, you did. You put a tip in it.
That would hurt, taking that out of the oven. You'd be like, ah! That's not why you want to go to the emergency room.
You're not a very good perverted baker, because I'm pretty sure they probably would wait for it to cool a little bit.
I'm sorry, I'm not perverted enough for your perverted bakery.
I'm sorry, but we're going to have to let you go.
I only work at moral bakeries.
Are there any left in this world?
I was trying to get a drink when you said that. I literally almost spit it all out.
So like a whale just going, oh god, I went under before I held my breath.
I want whales to sound like that. It'd be awesome if there was a translator and that's what whales sounded like. Because they sound all kind of creepy and badass, and if that's really like what they sounded like.
Well, that's weird, because like I don't know if that's a translation, like more as... Well, I guess it translates their calls to a different dialect than, like, I wish we had a machine that would translate whale calls into, like, English instead of...
What if they just swear and say offensive racist things all the time? You'd be like, oh my god, we can't play this for other people.
It's like, dear god, the sea is never the same again. It has giant swearing memos. They're like, fuck! I can't do a good orca. Can you do a good orca?
No. I think I told the story on the podcast before. Years ago when I was with my ex, we had this relaxation CD.
Oh.
We had a bunch of them, but one of them was whale sounds, and so I was like, oh, I'll put that in. So we turn off all the lights to go to bed and turn it on, and in the middle of the night, whale sounds on a CD player in the dark sound like ghosts and souls howling.
Don't they? They're
do.
fucking scary!
And like, partway through that, I'm like, okay, I'm turning that off and putting it on the rainforest or something, because this is creepy.
No, because all it is like... if I stuck my head in the ocean and heard that, I just wouldn't go in the ocean again. Fuck sharks. crabs, and all those other crazy things. Whales, they scare me.
Well, you're pretty safe where you live from them, though.
I don't know. There's a lot of whales where I work. I'm a dick. Alright, well, what's new with you?
Sims stuff. I've been talking about that for, 3 podcasts now?
Yep, you have. Build it up, man. Better be good.
Sunday night, I had the first episode totally edited, and I was like, I want to get these up by Tuesday. And then it took me a long time to edit that. It has over 100 edits in the first one, and
oh god.
Well, it's all the characters. There's 80 to 90 characters.
Oh,
just introducing them. So I don't know how interesting the first video is going to be. And I tried to render it out, and it wouldn't render out. So I spent the last 3 days getting it to render out, and I finally got it today. So
the last 3 days. What was wrong with it?
I don't know. It was something about transitions where I ended up having to break it down. There were a couple little video files that were, I don't know if they were corrupt or they were missing a couple frames, so it wouldn't render the whole thing out. So I had to basically cut it into little chunks and render out each chunk until I could find, I think there were 3 or 4 spots like that where they were and fix those.
Oh, dang, that sounds like a pain in the ass.
It was, and just literally, I think it was this morning I finished it, and it's technically uploaded yet, but it's not going to release till Saturday, because I want to release that in the second video. Well, the second video is actually when they move in and I build the house, where stuff actually happens, so I want them to come out the same day. Because I feel like it'd be a cruel cock tease to be like, here's 90-some people that you might not care about. You gotta wait 3 days for the next video where something happens.
That's what I do. I upload a 2-part video, and I just go here you go. 3 days later, here's the other part. And not because I know I'm being an ass, I just kind of forget. I'm lazy.
Every once in a while I think I want to do another wrestling game. So, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I'm watching someone... I'm looking at Let's Plays of wrestling games online to see which one might I want to do in the future. And so I find one, and this guy is creating his own wrestler, which is what I do when I play those games. The guy did 23 videos just creating his wrestler, not fighting any matches.
Really?
Yeah, and after a while I'm just like, oh my fucking god, dude, just fucking
edit
finish
that
it.
Out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even people in the comments were after a while were like, did you just fucking get to wrestling?
Well, what was he do? What did you say, 23 videos? How did he even...
It was here's the sign. Here is how I make my sign for my wrestler. I'm going to adjust this part of the face and continue to adjust this part of this face. I mean...
How long were his videos? Were they 2 minutes each?
No, they were 20 minutes, half an hour apiece.
20 minutes of him adjusting the boxer's nose, I suppose.
Yeah, very simple things like that. Oh, okay, what's my end wrestling move going to be? Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one.
Oh, God. That's something I would say, I would just create the character and then be at the end of this Let's Play, I will have one of those things where I show you everything.
That's what I did with Tug Dick, and with my wrestling LP, it's I start off, and I'm going to make the character, and then I come back with the made character and just explain it, because nobody wants to sit through all that.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. I mean, it's kind of nice at the end to be oh, okay, whatever. Oh, you can do this? Cool. And then stats and different stats, but... Yeah... I think you are wise, my dear Paul, to edit all those videos of The Sims, because, no one really wants to watch. I mean, I would watch it because I like you and your videos, but I don't think anyone really wants to watch you, put eyeliner on everyone.
Oh, no. For the first video, it's basically, you see them and I read the description about the character. The main characters, maybe I talk about a little bit more in the main house, but... If I would have shown the character creation process, I could have done 20, 30 videos, and you'd be like, "This sucks, worst LP ever."
What the fuck? One less I wanted an LP of someone creating characters and talking to themselves, and it would be the best LP ever. Excuse me.
It's all good. I'm trying not to sneeze all of a sudden. I hate when that happens in a Let's Play when you're like, "Oh, I gotta sneeze, but I don't want to stop the recording."
You're nice, and you do stop for the recording. Every time I talk to you about the LP things, I'm like, wow, I am graced with such professional and royal presence, of LPing. Paul is very nice. He's very thoughtful of the audience. No chewing, no burping, no sneezing, no coughing. Whereas I am the riffraff. I am the slob. I will sneeze. Although, sometimes I find my sneeze to be funny. I don't think everyone does, but I like my sneezes. I think they're funny.
Do you sneeze when you're alone and laugh?
Yes! I do. Well, because I sneezed once next to a guy, and he started laughing at me, and ever since then, I laugh, because I think of the guy, and my sneezes are funny, so, you know.
Did you know the person, or was it...
No, I didn't know him. He was kind of flirting with me. This is when I was, like, 15. He was kind of, like, flirting with me, and then I went, Achoo! And he was like, oh, that's so cute, and he started laughing, and his laugh was funny. So when I sneeze, I think of his laugh. So.
It's too bad you can't go back and be like, yeah, that's a thing I do. That's what I would have wanted to say.
That I sneeze?
Yeah, when someone's like, that's cute. I'd be like, yeah, it's just kind of a thing I do, you know.
It's my trademark, man.
I've been working on it.
In the future, when I get a record deal for sneezing, oh yeah. God, no. But what I was gonna say is you're very polite. How do you get so polite, Paul? Teach me your ways.
I don't know. I just...
You care?
Well, you want it to be tight, because it feels better when it's tight, you know what I mean?
What the fuck?
Well, videos, you want them to be tight. You don't want them to be, like, loose and long and wandering. You want them to be, you know, you want to edit it so it's tight and enjoyable.
Paul, my tight and enjoyable, Paul. Think of what you're saying.
What?
The whole time.
I don't know what a double entendre is. That couldn't have been on purpose.
Oh, God. That's all I was thinking about is like, oh, you want it to be tight. And I'm like, what to be tight?
Actually, I thought of that line.
tight and enjoyable.
I thought of that line earlier today, and I was like, oh, I have to use it in the podcast tonight.
Dude, you were like, and once again, you're proper describing something, and I'm just like, you're talking about lady bits, aren't you?
Actually, that kind of was.
Well, see, you hide it better than me.
That's the key. I mean, I have some viewers where they'll be like, oh, you're so nice and cute, but a little dirty. And I'm like, if you feign stupidity a lot, and it's easy for me to do, people are like, he's funny.
Well, I know you're not dumb, and I still think you're funny.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
The other thing I've been doing this week is, last night I was hanging out with my friend Lauren, who I do, like, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire podcast with. Everything's a podcast to me now.
Yeah, podcast.
Let's Play, and we started Let's Playing the game Fran Bow?
Fran Bow,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
No.
It's really fucking cool, though. I don't usually get into horror-type games or adventure games, but it is really fun. Mm-hmm.
That game looks really cool. Actually, my brother requested that I play it. That's why I researched it, and when I saw... Because you linked it to Facebook, and you're like, you can't... What did you say? You're like, here's a Let's Play I'm working on, you can't find on my channel. And I was like, oh my god, did Paul move? Did he move to a different site? And then I checked, and I was like, oh. It's on Lauren's channel, right?
Yep. They're all going to be over on Lauren's channel. I'm going to put up a video on Thursday, so that'll be out before the podcast comes out, with just me saying, here's where the video is, and I'll put a link in the description. Yeah. So.
And go check that out. So it's going to be you and Lauren doing a co-op on Fran Bow.
Yeah, and that game is really freaking cool, so.
It is cool. I like the art style also.
Oh, me too. It's like...
The music's nice.
Really dark, and it's really atmospheric.
Mm-hmm. It's point and click, right? Like side-scrolling point and click?
Yep, it's just like, it's kind of like an old-fashioned adventure game that way, but it's got a really dark, aesthetic that actually, it works as a really creepy, at least so far. I mean, sometimes games start off well like that, and then they don't hold up, but we'll see.
Yeah. Are you like halfway done with it?
No, we only recorded we had a lot of technical issues we were dealing with for a while, so we recorded for maybe an hour, so we have, I think, 2 and a part of an episode done.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely check it out so I can cheat and watch you guys play it before I play it.
If people haven't, I would recommend to you check out Gamerpixie's Outlast LP, because I've been watching some of that, and I don't know if I'll be able to watch it all, because that's a creepy game, but I'm really enjoying your LP. It's like a good mix of creepy and your humor, and I like it.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it, because, I don't know. It's so perverted and crazy. I don't know. You should just try and stick with it if you can, because, the worse the game gets via, content and scariness, the worse I get with humor. So you might want to check it out, because I just get worse. I just edited a couple of videos today. Unfortunately, I had to edit out a very juicy part, because I was afraid YouTube would be...
Why didn't you just censor it?
Because, there wouldn't be any points.
I don't know. Was it video footage you didn't want people to see?
Yeah, it was video. It was basically, I caught on camera the guy, because, did you see the episode where the father, he, basically knocked me out, and then I wake up in that, padded room? that padded cell, and then I go around exploring the place, and then there's the guy moaning because he's having sex with a dead body. Do you remember that?
I'm not that far yet. I'm not that far. I think I'm on the third episode, or the second episode?
Probably the second, I think. Because that happens in the third...
I think I finished the second one. I know I watched the first one all the way through, and I think I watched the second one all the way through, and
Well, I just spoiled the third one for you. But basically that happens. And while I was playing the game, I kind of remembered that part. I didn't remember the scare, obviously, because I scream like a wimp. But I was like, oh my gosh, I missed the part. Because actually what you're supposed to do is climb up on this platform, and then you see this guy doing the nasty with a decapitated body. But the way I was playing, you don't see that. And then in the video, because I ended the video there, kind of like, okay, goodbye, you guys. And then I started the fourth recording, and I got it all on tape. And it was really funny, like the way I responded to it. I thought it was really funny, but I ended cutting it out because I don't know. It was just porn at that point, you know?
You didn't miss anything big about the game, though, that way, did you?
No, you don't. No, okay. You don't. Literally, the only thing that people have missed is actually seeing zoomed in a guy having sex with a dead body. That's about it. So I was like, you know what? Is there much of a loss here? No, there isn't. There's no key item. It's not like, oh my god, you have to see this guy have sex with this guy, and then you can unlock the locked door at the end and get the machine gun. No. That would be a cool Easter egg, though. Because
I have had some games in the past where I've had to put, like, sensor bars on things. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. And that's the thing, is that it's so dark in the game. Because, you're using the night vision, and it illuminates the people, the actual, like, enemies better than it does the surroundings. So it was basically just these guys in the limelight, and you couldn't see anything else around them. I was sad to see that footage go. But it had to go, so...
In the beginning of the game, for anybody who's not familiar with it, you're like a reporter, and you go into, it's like an asylum, right?
Yes, it is an asylum, which I keep accidentally calling a prison, but it is asylum, yes.
So you show up, he shows up, and the place is just, like, abandoned in the front, and there's, like, a gate that's bent open and stuff. And, that's the difference between game and reality. At that point, if I'm a guy, I'm like, I'm gonna go leave and call them and be like, nobody was there.
No one was there. And then your boss could be like, well, was there a gate bent open? There's always a gate bent open. You're like, no. While you're staring at the gate that's all fucked up. No, he's a reporter. You made a joke about that, and I laughed so hard. Paul commented, he was like, this reporter's crazy. Ellipses, crazy for a good story. And I was like, oh my god. I can't believe I didn't say that. But yeah, basically we're just a guy with a very attractive voice running around a place being like, oh, Lord, look at... wow, this place is really disheveled.
What do you call the guy?
What do I call him?
Was that Miles? Miles Attractive Man?
Yes, Miles Attractive Man. He has a full name, but that's my full name for him.
I love that. Gamerpixie's playing, like, this really horror game where horrible things are going. Like, you walk into this room and there's this, like, security guy or cop who's on a spit, like, giant...
Shish kebab.
Yeah, shish kebab. And she's like, ooh, I'm playing this Miles Attractive guy. He's cute.
Well, that's how I deal with being scared. I mean, like, I don't know. You're frightened, and then you try and pick at things that are like, well, at least the guy who's trying to kill me did have nice biceps. I mean, come on, let's be real.
That's so you. You always look at the positive of something. You're like, well, he was kind of gentle. He avoided the face area. That's all right.
He did. When he was mangling my body, he took special care to avoid my legs. That was very nice of him. I love my legs. No, and I mean, the game, it's funny, because, like, I know you're not into those kind of games, but if you're playing it, it's not... I don't know, it's hard to describe. You know how there's certain games that can bother you more on an emotional level?
Yeah.
And what's it called? Instinct level. So you have that adrenaline, like, oh my god, something's gonna pop out at me. But you're also like, holy crap, I feel really bad and scared. For me, Outlast is just the adrenaline. Like, I wouldn't really describe that game as scary, per se. And you know why? Because I'm, like, the whole adrenaline thing, it really distracts me from what's actually going on, because I feel like people who watch the video probably get the story more than I do, because when you're playing a game like that, you're just like, oh my god, gotta run, gotta stay alive, gotta figure out what to do. So, like, I kind of get story immersion, and then I lose it immediately because guys are trying to, like, tear my throat out, and I have to comment on that. But, I don't know, Outlast isn't really that scary as much as I thought it was, and it's not as bothersome on a emotional level.
Well, it's a lot of fun watching you play that, too, because you do get into it and react. My problem is I have a hard time getting into most horror games.
Yeah, well, like, that's what I said. You said it, did you say, like, for you, is it you just can't get into them, so they're kind of uninteresting?
Yeah, it's hard for me to suspend my disbelief enough to get into them, so it's, like, horror games work when someone's like, oh my god, or they scream because a jump scare works, and
yeah,
I don't have that. I have that when I play, like, baseball. I have that when I play...
I spoke too early!
Yeah, those are the games I get into, or I'm not paying attention, I turn a corner and there's somebody there. So it's not like I can't be jumpy. I remember one time when I lived with my ex in the apartment, I was walking down the stairs, and she was standing up watching the TV, and I didn't see her there, and then I get down the, like, third stair from the top, and I see her out of the corner of my eye, and I didn't expect her there, and I shrieked, and I fell down the last 3 stairs. I was like, ah! And then she's like, what happened? And then I had to be like, well, I saw you, and I got scared, and...
You startled me. No. Yeah. Well, wait. So, I'm trying to get a better understanding. This is us. This is Dr. Pixie. I like Dr. Pixie better because it just sounds more like...
It makes me think of Dr. Mario.
Throwing green and red pills at people who have the fever and chills. I don't know. Yeah, I want to get a better understanding of you. Do you think Outlast is scary, or does it just kind of bother you because it's gross?
It's more gross and emotionally creepy, especially because I'm a guy. I won't get into why that is, but as a guy, you know, there's certain things genetically you're like, oh no.
Oh yeah, no. Well, that's the funny thing too, is I feel like I'm very fortunate being a girl and playing it because, like, and I have that material now. I can be like, oh my god, he has nice feet, you know, and then like they're trying to kill me and stuff. It like works better. I wouldn't care, you know, like. If a guy does that too, it's cool, but, you know, if I was playing the game and it was all about women and it used, like, lady things and lady parts were sewn shut, you know, like, that sort of creepy thing, I could understand being, like, really ew about it. Because, like I said, I'm not a guy, so most of the stuff doesn't bother me. I think they're cute. I think the guys with the melting face are cute, okay? God.
That's what I like. That's why I love hanging out with Gamerpixie. She's the only one who could be like, girl crush in a room of like decapitated bodies and stuff. She's like, ooh, that one looks nice.
Because I date the personality, and then it enriches their looks. Oh my god, I am so nice. Whatever. Yeah, okay. Oh, lordy. Yeah, but almost done with that, halfway done with that. And then, as soon as I'm done with Outlast, then I'll start segueing into the requests. So I'm pretty happy about that. I got a plan, boy.
I look forward to seeing that, all of that.
All of that, what, the requests? Or...
Well, more of Outlast, and more of the requests.
Someone wanted me to play the DLC. And I think I'll do it. The Whistleblower, the one that you were like... Did we talk about that on the podcast?
No, we talked about that privately, because I wouldn't give out spoilers like that, so...
Gotcha. But yeah, someone wants me to play that, so...
That's why, because I know what happens at the end of the game. That's why I think... And that's probably makes it worse for me. Because the only thing I saw before was, like, the last maybe half hour of it. So, like, I know some of the worst parts. And
yeah, you do.
So, like, everything up to that, I'm like, oh god, is it going to be like this? Okay, it wasn't. Is it going to be like that?
Not yet. No, that's the funny thing is that I think Outlast doesn't have as bad. Oh, let's say we haven't gotten to the really, really bad parts of Outlast yet. There's some characters that it's like, oh my god, and there's some scenes that are kind of on par when it comes to gore with what happens in Whistleblower, but sexually, like, the sensualness of it, it's nowhere.
Wait, is that what you said when the guy was fucking the dead guy? You're like, that's sensual. Did you sing sexual healing to him? You should have.
No, I was immature and I zoomed in really close. That's why we can't. I couldn't. I couldn't blackbar it because it was the entire screen. And I was like, we got it on camera.
If it was me, I would have done it and I would have blackbarred the whole screen.
Well, and that's the funny thing is I'm using Windows Live Movie Maker to record this. So I was like, I have no idea how to do a blackout screen. Because it's a wonderful video editing software if you have to do like two things. And then other than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do that in that.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's kind of, well, actually, you know what? No, I don't know. Plus, it doesn't really matter because I didn't make any really good jokes. All I did was like, I got immature and I was like, oh my god, we caught it on camera! We caught you on camera! And I was like zooming out and in and stuff, and I was just being stupid, and then I was like, I can cut that out, I think.
Well, I'll be honest, I probably would have done something similar if I was playing a game like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wanted it in there because the way I said, we got you on camera, and then he went, oh, like, flew away from the body. It seemed like he was actually, like, pretty surprised about me being there, but whatever. There will be other gross, overly sexualized things to keep into videos, so it's fine. I just hate editing things twice, that's all.
That has been my week with the Sims 2 first video, when you're like, it should all be done, and then 3 days later you're still dealing with editing issues, you're like, ah!
Seriously. Well, I mean, unfortunately for you, like, you actually had to deal with, like, actual tech problems, like there was something going on in the video files. Me, I was just fucking lazy, and I didn't think about it. Maybe my viewers don't want to see a guy put his dick into someone's ass. Maybe. I don't know.
You never know. Maybe they do.
I'm like, I want to see that! No, no, but it was... So I left it there for like 3 days, the video file, and I thought I uploaded it, and I didn't, and I was like, oh, that's good, so I can edit it, and then 2 days later, I was like, holy fuck, I need to edit this. I've been kind of, like, crazy going in and out of stuff, so I've had a lot of projects, a lot of life stuff, just kind of ton of shit going on, so the videos have been, I'm either on top of it, in, like, I don't know, a strand of 3 days being on top of it, and then maybe 2 days of just, like, what the fuck am I doing, like, what's going on here, so hopefully I can get my rhythm back. Excuse me, I gotta burp very quietly. My pina colada is catching up with me.
Like, literally, it's chasing you? You're like, oh no! It's like, put me in your mouth.
I'd be like, I would love to do that. No, it can't really chase me. I'm sitting down, so if it is chasing me, it's moving horrifically slow. Oh, nope, it's moving fast. It's getting closer. Oh. Oh, God, it tastes so good. Oh, man. Coconut juice is so odd. Oh! I want to let you know, I still have the Shaq Fu punch on my, my bookshelf. I just picked it up and put it down. I don't know if you can hear it, but I haven't drank all of it, and I don't think I will finish all of it.
Yeah, I would hope not. Was that 2 weeks ago when you opened it?
Yeah, well, I mean, its expiration is pretty good. Like, you can open it, and it'll go for, like, maybe, well, actually 2 weeks, I think, is when it starts to deteriorate, but, yeah. But I still have it, because the bottle is beautiful.
Do you have a Shaq shrine for his, like, drinks? You're like, oh, Shaq.
I don't, but now that you've given me the idea, no. I might be starting a shrine, like, unconsciously on my bookshelf. Like, I'll just start moving stuff off of my bookshelf and put the rest of the drinks on there, and then I'll summon Shaq.
I was gonna say, that's the most mild start to a cult I've ever heard. Well, I kinda guess I am starting a shrine.
Well, you know, like, it's like, man, I got so many hours at work, I'll just do this one step at a time. You buy the goat, you know, you put it in your backyard. Then you buy the red paints to paint the pentagram. And then when you go in the backyard after work, you know, you paint one corner, and then the next day after work, you paint the other corner. You just got one step at a time. You're cult!
Oh, I thought you were going to start, like, a Shaq cult. Then I think you'd have, like, a basketball you use instead of a pentagram.
No, I'll draw a pentagram and then play basketball on it. How's that sound?
We really just help youth who have nothing to do after school. We find good things for them to do. We're a nice cult.
Well, what else are they going to do? Drugs?
Oh, that's all right.
Well, pick your poison, I guess, right? Devil worship or drugs? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll pass on the devil worship.
I don't know, maybe he's better than drugs. You ever thought of that? Maybe thought of giving him a chance, huh?
No, not really.
In past podcasts, was I the devil?
What?
I think I was the devil in past podcasts.
What do you mean?
I really do. I was the devil. I said hi. I said hi. I'm the devil.
Oh, yes. I thought you meant like in all of them. You were like, Paul, give me your soul. I'm like, oh, I love talking about games with you too. I will eat your eyes. What other games are you playing?
I'm playing, give me your soul and I won't kill you.
That's
nice. Or wait, I'll kill you anyway. What the fuck? What am I saying? I'm the devil. I'm lying. Oh, boy. Devil.
The devil's in the details. You want to do some questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a 2-part question. I'll read the whole question, then we'll do the first part, if that's all right with you, devil.
Yes.
Kid Kingpin says, what was the absolute worst movie you have ever had the misfortune of watching, and what was your favorite sports movie? You want to go with the worst movie first?
Yes, let's.
Do you want to go first, or you want me to?
I want you to go first. I want to hear yours.
All right, mine has a story to it. So
no, I'm kidding.
You're like, podcast over. What?
No, please do tell. I'm listening.
So many years ago, I was at a film festival because I had one of my cartoons showing at it. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, I got to go to all the filmmaker parties and whatnot. And so I got my sister and my brother into them. So we're hanging out at a filmmaker party. And my sister usually, when it come to film festivals with me, usually my brother would. So my sister is there, and she sees this film called Laura Smiles. And my sister's name is Laura. So she's like, I really want to see that film.
It's a good thing to base something off of. It has the same name as me. I want to see it. Yeah. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So, like, all day long, she's like, I want to see it. And I don't know if you know who Jonathan Silverman is. He was in Weekend at Bernie's and The Single Guy. Like, he was big in the 80s and a little bit the early 90s as an actor. You can look him up on Google.
I will. All right.
And he was in the film. So we're at this party for all the filmmakers because I was a filmmaker. And I'm hanging out there with my sister and my brother and some other guy we ran into, and Jonathan Silverman, who at that point in time was a pretty big Hollywood actor, relatively speaking. And he's in the film that my sister wants to see, and my sister wants to meet him. I'm like, just go say hi. And she's like, ah. And the guy next to us knew him and is like, John, come over here. And so he introduces Jonathan Silverman to my sister, and Jonathan's really nice, and he's like, you guys should all come out and see the film. And he leaves. So I'm like, okay, we'll go see the film. And really it's because my sister wanted to. So we go to the film, and what they have there is they have 2 different lines. They have one line for everybody who's got tickets, and then they have a line for all the filmmakers, so you can kind of like talk, and you can get in earlier and get better seats.
Oh, that's swell. All right.
And so we do that. We go into the filmmaker line, like me and my brother and my sister, because I got all my filmmaker passes because of my cartoons.
Yeah.
And we run into Jonathan Silverman there and the director of the film.
Oh, wow. So you really met the peoples.
Yeah,
involved.
So we just start talking, and we're hitting it off, and we're having a good time. And then we go in, and they're like, come over here. And we go and sit with them. I'm sitting right next to the director of this film. And this film has got some buzz. It played some film festivals, I think, in New York or L.A., and they're like, yeah, this might actually get real big distribution.
Oh, geez, well.
And then they put the film on, and it is the worst film I have ever seen.
So it's pretty much like confirmed that the film didn't do very well.
Oh no, it never got distribution or anything.
Yeah,
I think that was the last time it might have showed anywhere. Because it's this pretentious woman who's in a marriage, and all she does is complain, and it's just horribly long and tedious, and then she like has an affair, and it's not even interesting. Really?
Did you during the movie, did you turn to the director and made a face like, huh? What's this?
Well, that's how bad it was. So bad, I wanted to leave. Like, Jonathan Silverman, one of the 2 main actors, is sitting right in front of me. I'm sitting next to the director of the film, and it's that bad, I want to walk out. But my sister all day long has been like, I want to see this film. And so, like,
so you're nice.
So, like, halfway through, my brother leans over, even though he's sitting at like 3 seats to the right of me. The director's on my left, and he's like, do you guys mind if I go?
He's like, I'm out of here. I have no obligation to be here. I'm taking that chance, man. I'm just leaving.
And so I'm like, yeah. And I just was like, yeah, it's okay, man. It's okay. And so he leaves, even though he's sitting by all of us, too. And then the film gets done, and me and my sister walk out. And I'm trying to be polite, because my sister all day long was wanting to see it. She got to meet the actor. And hell, I'm sitting by the director.
Your sister didn't like it either, did she?
No, we're driving home, and I'm like, I wanted to leave. And she's like, I did too. But, like, you're sitting by the director and the actor, and I didn't want to ruin it because you like film festivals. And I was like, I didn't say anything because you were talking about the film all fucking day.
Oh, jeez. One of those, like, communication We just should have looked at each other and been like, this film was awful, and then got out. But, you know.
It was horrid. I mean, I've never ever before sat next to the director of a film that had a budget and been like, I'm willing to walk out, it's that bad. And I'm cheap. I usually don't walk out of anything.
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, if I paid for it or it was free, I'm going to sit through this damn thing. But even that, it was like, oh, this is not even worth it.
Damn. So, like, wait, so the movie was about a woman who was whining and she didn't like her marriage or something?
Basically, that's what it was. It's Laura Smiles. It was supposed to be pretentious, but it didn't work. So the whole time she's just whining about her shit marriage, and then she, like, has an affair. And it's the boringest, most pretentious thing. I mean, imagine someone griping for, like, 2 hours about something and not trying to do anything about it. And not even in an interesting way. Just, like, 2 hours of look at me and my life, and I'm a well-off middle-class woman who's just not happy. Then just get out or do something. Rob a bank.
Yes, get a hobby, bitch. Worship the devil.
Yes, Worship the Devil would have been a better film.
It would be. Laura Smiles as she worships the devil. There you go.
It was the worst film I have ever seen, so. What about you?
Wow. After a lot of thinking and deducing, because there are a ton of horrible movies I've seen, there's horrible haha and horrible, like, oh my god. So I came to the conclusion that thus far in my watching career, if you can call it that, the worst movie I have ever seen that really bothered me on a soul level was G.I. Joe. Have you seen that movie?
No, when it came out, I'm assuming you mean the live action one, not the old cartoon stuff.
No, I like the cartoon. Anything from the cartoon is okay. Because it's so awful, it's wonderful.
No, when the live action one came out, I was like, really? Yeah, I'm not going to go see that.
Oh my god. It is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. And it's funny, because there's, like I said, bad haha, and then bad, oh my god, what did you do to this thing? Like, I want to give some backstory. I don't know really anything about G.I. Joe. Like, I really don't know where it came from. I know it is a cartoon, that sort of thing. But other than that, I don't know anything about the characters. I don't know anything about, like, lore or, like, a canon, anything like that. I don't know anything about G.I. Joe. And when I watched the movie, I was so fucking pissed because there was just stuff that I was like... Because I was sitting next to someone who did know about G.I. Joe, and I was, like, pissed for the fans. Because there was so much stupid shit in it. Like, so much dumb stuff. There's racism, there's sexism, and it's all under the guise that's like, oh, it's funny, you know, because sexism and racism is funny. It can be funny, but not in, like, the so layman's terms. Like, music is awful. Characters are they're fucking stupid, and their actors they're not good either. There's the main guy, G.I. Joe. I don't know what his name is. Joe? I don't know. And he has a friend who's black, and then, you know, it's like, oh, it's funny because he acts black, you know? And then there's a woman in Scarlet, I think her name is, and then the black guy's like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to Scarlet because I'm comic relief black guy, and then she's going to shun me and be a bitch to me because she's a woman and she doesn't need a man or anyone's help. And, she also doesn't dress properly when she's working out because they wanted her to look pretty. I don't know. Like, it just bothers me. So much stuff aesthetically bothered me about this movie.
Was it worse than Street Fighter?
Okay. That's a good question.
That should be like one of the benchmarks of bad films.
Street Fighter was really bad. Street Fighter was really bad. Like, well, I mean, I haven't seen Street Fighter in a while, so I can't remember. I know Street Fighter was bad. I know it was bad, but I can't remember if it had funny things because it was bad. Because if we're going to talk about bad, like, Mortal Kombat was fucking awful, but I like Mortal Kombat because it was so awful it was funny. You know what I'm saying?
Street Fighter had moments with, I can't think of his name, Raul or whatever, the guy who played Gomez Adams in the films, where he was over the top funny, you know? But,
yeah.
But the rest of the film, Van Damme was horrible. But, I don't know, that was kind of like the 90s where, like, the video game films tended to be horrible. Like, the Mario Brothers film was god-awful.
That is such a bad movie. But, once again, I mean, I like it because it's so freaking awful. And it's pretty funny. I mean, why'd they make Luigi young? I don't know why they did that. I know Luigi is the younger brother, but why'd they make him like that, like, attractive guy? I don't know. I was just... Have you seen the Super Mario Super Bro show or whatever?
Yes.
Super show?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I
My
feel
brother
like those
used to
guys
watch
would've been
that when I was young.
Yeah, no, it's a fun show. At the end, he's like, Dora Mario, dancing. I did the Mario when I was a kid, only on VHS.
You actually did the Mario? You actually danced to it?
Yeah.
You were so much funnier at life than I am. Even as a kid, I didn't. You mentioned you mentioned G.I. Joe. As a kid, I hated G.I. Joe. Lots of my friends loved it, but I was like, this is fucking bullshit. They shoot 1,000,000 times and nobody hits anything. Come on.
That is true. But they have a guy. Their antagonist wears really tight pants and goes, like, that is... What is not to like? And then there's a guy named Destro who's got this Cobra motif, and he's second best to Cobra Commander, and he's very frustrated about it because Cobra Commander is a fucking idiot.
As a kid in the 80s, I was more of a Transformers kid. That's what I liked. Megatron and Starscream and the Autobots.
Transformers.
Not so much the Michael Bay movies, though. So.
Oh, don't get me started about the Michael Bay movies. I don't... No. I remember one time one of my friends, when I was younger, one of my girlfriends, she was like, we should watch Transformers, and I was like, I really... No. And, yeah. And she's like, no, we should really watch it. There's a female character in there that I think you'll really like, because she's super, like, strong and stuff. And then I was kind of like, well, I don't care. But then we watched it anyway, and she meant Megan Fox's character, and I was like, okay, if you're really gonna put that out there as an example of a strong female character, or any other character in that entire fucking movie as a legitimate character, like, you need to go check yourself, okay?
Have you ever seen the movie Open Water?
No, but I've heard of it.
It's a shitty movie. It did actually okay, but I remember seeing it at a film festival, and the very first shot of the film just about, there's a husband and wife, and the wife is laying there completely nude, and I knew at that moment it was going to be a shit film, because usually when you have to be like, this person's hot, and they're female, let's objectify them, usually it means your story's not good.
It usually does, unless, like... Yeah, no, actually. No, I agree with you 100%. I was going to say, like, something else, but then that's, like, it was completely different. I was going to say, unless their character involves that's what they're supposed to do.
Well, if you look, let's look at Anchorman.
Yes, let's.
With Will Ferrell and Christina Applegate. Christina Applegate's super hot, but and she's supposed to play a pretty character, but it's not just that. It's the character and her comedic acting, and the prettiness is... You're not just trying to get a gratuitous boob shot, so...
Yes. Whereas Michael Bay's stuff is like... let's put a 12-year-old boy... I know Shia LaBeouf wasn't 12, but he might as well have been. I don't like him in that movie. Actually, what's funny is when people are like, what do you think of when I say Shia LaBeouf? I'm like, I think of Even Steven from Disney Channel.
Wasn't he in Holes, or am I thinking of someone else?
He was in Holes. No, you're right. He didn't steal shoes, but, like, stolen shoes fell into his... I don't know, fucking hands. And then the cop was like, yo, you stole those! And then he went to dig holes for a woman. That's the story, you guys. No, in the book, I think it's different. So, yep. Holes is a good movie, actually.
I have not seen all of it. What I've seen is what I like. The reason I thought of that, because I was thinking of, what films have I seen with him that I really liked, and that was the one, so...
Yeah, no, Holes, probably favoriteest Shia LaBeouf movie. I can't think of any other movie that he was in.
What? The Crystal Skull wasn't your favorite?
No, the Crystal Skull was like, ew. I watched like maybe 30 minutes into that film, and I felt so dirty and awful. I was like, what have you done? Like, ew. And I kind of, how people were hating on Justin Bieber because he was Justin Bieber before he actually became an asshole, and now it's legitimate not to like him. I don't really like Shia LaBeouf, and not in a hating way, more of a, like, if I see him in a movie, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna pull myself away from this, because most of the roles he gets in the movies nowadays, I don't like those movies, so I'm just kind of, like, basing it off of that, but...
That is part of the problem when you're an actor, is if you get roles that are shit or people don't like, then you're kind of,
yeah. Well, and plus, I mean, Shia LaBeouf, I don't know. Because being a Disney Channel star, like, you don't really need to be a good actor.
True.
You don't. And then, like, Holes, he was a kid, and he was kind of transitioning, he's growing up and stuff, so it was okay. it was okay. I don't think he did that great of acting. But in The Crystal Skull, I didn't like his acting. In freaking Transformers, I hate his acting. But I'm not sure if Transformers, that's because he's a bad actor or because Michael Bay is a horrible director. In my opinion, people are going to be like, oh my god, what are you talking about? Michael Bay is a horrible...
No, I agree with you, so...
No, I just mean the audience because, like, I don't know. Opinions.
Well, most discussions about bad films sooner or later lead you to Michael Bay, so...
Yes, Michael Bay and M. Night Shyamalan. he made a lot of bad movies, too. Did you see Devil?
No, I didn't.
I'm in it. No. No, there's...
Actually, the only one of his films I liked was one that nobody else liked. The Lady in the Water, I think it's called.
Oh shit! I've heard of that, but I never saw that. It was good?
I liked it. I don't know if anybody else
liked it?
And maybe it might have just been I had no expectations because I'm not a big M. Night fan. My brother's a huge M. Night fan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is he really?
Yeah. I don't know if he is anymore, but he used to be. So he used to always be like, this movie's out. Like, what is it? Unbreakable. It's like, you gotta watch this. And you gotta watch, I forget the other one.
That was an okay movie, too. Unbreakable was okay. Sixth Sense was actually pretty good.
See, the Sixth Sense didn't work for me, though, because... And I'm not trying to... I think I mentioned this before. I wasn't trying to be smart, but I thought he was dead from the beginning. So there was never this aha moment for me. I was like, he shot himself.
I did, too. That's the thing, is I knew he was dead, and I was like, I still like this movie. And it's got the kid from AI in it. That's cool.
And that's the thing, is I never told people that story like, oh, I figured it out right away. I was just like, I thought he was dead.
You're like, I didn't. Well, like, if he can see, you know, obviously he's dead, then, because, like, he saw those people hanging from the ceiling, so, like... And if the kid says, I see dead people, and then... Bruce Willis is like, oh my god, he sees dead people. I can't do a good Bruce Willis.
You know, I think that's M. Night's problem, is he had a few films that did really well with twists, and then at the end they're like, we need the M. Night twist. And then at the end, what do you do? Just like show up and poop out a poodle? You're like, I don't know how to keep people surprised anymore.
Well, that would surprise me, so that would be a good one to send in to M. Night Shyamalan's. Please help me create twists, P.O. Box.
That's what you should do. Or just walk in, it was all a dream. Why did the director walk in and say it was all a dream and then we faded to black? Where's Dandy Neffa?
You're like, well, that's the twist, my friend. It was all a dream, and he got your ticket money because you stayed. I mean, you bought a ticket, so...
That is one of the biggest fuck you endings ever when it's a dream. One of the best ways it was done in a fake way, though, is in Back to the Future, when Marty wakes up and you're like, was it all a dream? And then it wasn't, because he sees his parents are different now.
Yeah, well, you know what? Oh, yeah, like, and then the bully is, like, doing stuff for them.
Yeah,
right?
Biff is, like, buffing the car or whatever.
Yeah! Oh, I want to watch that movie again. Oh, I bought shoes. Okay, I'm not deviating too much. We'll go back to the bad movies. But I bought shoes that are... They had white ones, but I got the black ones because it's for work. But they had, like, these giant Velcro straps, so it's not like you don't tie the shoes and you just pull the Velcro over. And I totally thought of Back to the Future, and I asked my mom, I was like, at some point did they ever create self-lacing shoes? And she's like, no, I don't think so.
They actually did.
Did they?
Really? Nike did it as a promotional thing, and they gave all the money for charity, and I think it was this year that they came out. It was this year or last year.
Are you serious? This year? So recent.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because 2015 is the year they go to when they go to the future. Like, this November, I believe, is when Marty's going to come visit us all.
Oh, man, that's cool.
It's like the Great Pumpkin for me now.
Yeah, you're like, oh, great. Oh, Marty, where are you?
If we're in Hill Valley on this date, we will see the great Marty McFly show up.
And he gives, what does he say, toys to all the little
I bet he'd give us
boys.
Pepsis.
Ooh, Crystal Pepsi. Send that my way, man. I've never had that,
This is how
but
cults form, like 1,000 years from now.
The Great Pumpkin,
The Prophet Paul foretold the coming of the Marty McFly.
Marty, we have to go into the future.
You'll be able to tell because his shoe's untied. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you know. Wait, so he'll give us the shoes?
Well, just
or Nike will give us the shoes.
Well, when Biff is like, McFly, your shoe's untied. I think he does that to George, actually. But I'm nerding out too much. I gotta wait for the movie things. I was like, yay, it's Back to the Future land.
Well, I like Back to the Future. Who...
So, the second part of the question was, what's your favorite sports movie ever?
Oh, I want to hear yours first, because mine is, like, silly, because I don't watch a lot of
Honestly, I couldn't come up with something good.
Oh,
my first thought was The Water Boy. I know it's a comedy, but I like it. It's a.
You could still like it.
It's my second thought was like I like what is it? Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm. So is that golfing?
Yep, but I think my favorite one would be The Water Boy. I mean, it's football and it's comedy. I saw it in the theaters. If you wanted to be serious, I don't know, maybe Hoosiers. I don't know. The thing is, I don't get into sports films much.
Me neither.
I would rather watch a real sports game.
Real sports, yeah. There's so I have a movie that I haven't watched in a while, and it's about a baseball player and his relationship with his daughter because his wife died, and it's like forced drama and conflict. I know I'm not saying that wouldn't cause some drama, but
what's the name of it?
That's where I'm getting at. The name is really funny because it's called. I'm such an idiot. I shouldn't find this funny, but it's called A Little Inside.
Who's in it?
I don't know. No, I'm serious. It's not like a main. It's like a made for TV, but there's no TV. There's this. You can look them up. It's called Feature Films for Family. It's this company that produces movies or takes movies, like licenses movies, and then edits them into more family appropriate movies. And basically what they do is they make family appropriate stuff. And it's kind of funny because if you can't have violence and you can't have sex, you can only have one thing, and that's sadness. That is like
that sounds
sorrow.
horrible.
Yeah, they're all really sad. Like if you watch the one A Little Inside, which I don't fucking cannot. God damn, my brother. I have to smack my brother because he's the one who's like, like my dick, and I was like, fuck you. And like so now I can't not think about that. But okay, but yeah, it's all sad. It's just like this forced conflict, and he's like, my wife died. My daughter doesn't. Yeah, no, but he's like, I don't. He's really good at baseball, and then he's a single dad, so he struggles. Yes, he struggles with being a single dad, and then his neighbor is a woman, and she's really nice to her daughter, so her daughter wants to hang out with her more.
Oh, do they all get together?
No, no.
Oh.
Because she's like old as fuck.
Oh, well, you didn't say that.
Well,
sorry, please continue. I thought it was gonna be that formulaic where they get married and.
No, it is formulaic. Like his daughter, whose name is Abby. Oh, I forgot something else. I'll have to tell you at the end. But Abby, she meets a girl at school and they're friends and blah 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 blah. And then her friend's mom is single. So that's the formulaic, So he meets. Yeah.
See, I knew it was somewhere. I knew the single other lady was somewhere.
Yes, she was there. Just not the neighbor, because the neighbor's like ancient. Although if the neighbor, I think that would be like really, that would be like, I don't know. I know it's a family movie, but like if while Abby was spending the night at her friend's house, if like he and the old woman next door were doing it, I think that would be pretty cool. I really do. I think I would watch that movie and be like, whoa, that baseball player gets around. Also, he has a nice tush, too, so I think they actually hired a real baseball player. So, but anyway, yeah, formulaic, all this forced drama. She wants to take ballet, but he wants her to be a baseball player, which, I don't know, women can't, they can play baseball, but they can't be in the league, so it's kind of like, okay, well, all right. But his coach, when he gets back on, because he wants to play for the New York Yankees, and I think at the end he does play for them, but there's a coach before that, and you know who it is? It's Barney from, I think his name is Barney. It's Barney from Silence of the Lambs. It's a black guy. Before Clarice goes into the asylum to talk to Lecter.
Did that ruin it for you? You were like, wait.
No, because I hadn't seen, because when I was a kid, I watched, I watched it so much, and then when I watched Alone in the Dark, when I watched Silence of the Lambs, I was like, oh my god, it's the guy, it's the coach! And then a little inside, he says to the old woman, because he meets the old woman, the guy's neighbor, and they get it on, and he says, I heard you make a mean lasagna. So when I saw Silence of the Lambs, that's all I thought of, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. Also, it's funny to see an actor in a child-friendly movie, and then the same actor in a rated R movie.
It's like that if you see someone that was on Square One or Sesame Street and they play a different role in a serious film, you're like, oh my god, it's Gordon! Wait, what are you doing, Gordon?
No, seriously. Well, like, actually, that's it's amazing how some actors can like do the difference, you know, or make the leap into such different acting styles. Because isn't that crazy that Hal from Malcolm in the Middle ends up being Walter White from
Breaking Bad? Yeah.
Breaking Bad, yeah. Like, I didn't know, because he's so funny in Malcolm in the Middle. He's so funny and goofy. How he could go from like funny and goofy and lovable to this crazy dude.
He does an awesome job in both of them.
Yeah, no, he's good in both.
You know, the funny thing, you giggling about A Little Inside, and then you mentioned Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
One of the sequels, I think, is Alone in the Dark, One-Eyed Jack's Revenge. I remember years ago seeing that at a video store and just laughing so hard. I'm like, One-Eyed Jack, he's like a penis.
He is.
I remember, all my friends, I'd be like, look at that title, and I'd laugh like an idiot.
Dude, that's how I do feel about A Little Inside, because I have it, it's like in a folder somewhere. Whenever I'm looking for a movie, if I find it, I'll stop on it for a second and be like, heh. Because, you know, A Little Inside, it's like teasing.
Did you have another story you said you wanted to finish after that one about the movie?
No. That was the one that I saw, I saw Barney in,
I got you.
Yeah, the kids film, and then in the adult film, which I thought was pretty fun. And that makes me want to watch Silence of the Lambs again, because I actually really like that movie.
I have not seen that in forever. Do you want to move to the, next, question?
Wait, you already answered with your sports movie, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay,
did you have more answers?
No, I didn't have any. Well, that wasn't really an answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Okay. God, how did we get... I can't wait to listen back. I love listening and then being like, what the fuck? Where did I go? It's fun to laugh at my flaws. So you were talking about sports movies where you're like, oh, I don't really get into them, or I can't find like a serious one. It's more funny and that sort of thing. Well, I found one that's not necessarily a really good sports movie, but I like it because, you know, I'm a big fan of this sport. But the movie itself is called Nadia, and it's a TV movie from, I think it was made in 1984, or at least aired in 1984. And it's one of those movies that has a ton of familiar actors, like you've seen them in other movies, but you don't actually know their names.
Is that Russian chick, the gymnast?
Yeah, no, she's Romanian.
Oh.
Her name is Nadia Okay, here's where I get geeky, okay?
That fell in the sphere of the Soviet Union back in the day, so I wasn't too far off.
You weren't too far, yes, because 18... wait, God, when did she... Hold on.
Because that would have been in the 80s, wasn't it, that she was big?
She was big in the 70s,
well,
so yeah,
I was
you're
close,
right.
By 10 years.
Nah, you're cool. Fuck. Sorry, where's I going with this?
Sorry.
I lost my train of thought.
I was just like, I think I know that lady.
No, you do. Well, you do. I mean, she's the gymnast, so you're right. And this is where I geek out. Like I was going to say, you geeked out about Back to the Future. This is where I geek out. This is my turn. So, Nadia Comaneci, Romanian gymnast. Yeah, this is a movie basically about her, like, you know, being a little girl, going into gymnastics, and then to when she's in, when she scores her first perfect 10. Actually, Nadia, she was the first woman to score a perfect 10 ever in gymnastics. That was at the Olympics in 1976 in Montreal, Canada. And she was only 14 years old. And it's, like, insane, because I don't know. I mean, like, when I read that after I watched the movie, I was like, holy crap. And then when I watched the movie again, which I found it on YouTube, like, 2 days ago since I was doing the research for these questions, and I watched it again, it was still, like, that's the only sport movie I can really get intense about, because it is serious. It does have drama. It has a lot of flaws, too. Like, I don't know, it's a TV movie, so I'm not entirely sure how much standard I would put on it, but oh my god, I love gymnastics so much. So it's so fun to watch the movie, and, like, you know, when they get on the beam and if they kind of shake a little bit, you're like, oh, no! But if you know who Nadia is, you're like, well, she's probably not gonna shake because she got, you know, a 10 on almost all those things. So, but I don't know. I love that movie so much. I watched it when I was a kid. I had it on VHS, and I watched it all the time because I always wanted to be a gymnast. And it's all around just kind of a fun little film about a woman who really changed women's gymnastics in the Olympics. She really had a big part in changing it. In fact, they didn't. When she scored a 10, the actual scoreboard, the electric scoreboard, was not set up to display a 10. So when she scored the 10, it looked like she scored 1 point. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And then the judges were like, no, we actually gave her a perfect 10. So not only did she change stuff, like, people did more crazy tricks, and she, like, really, really influenced gymnastics after that. They actually changed the scoreboards. So
I did not know that.
Yep. And, yeah, so that's me kind of geeking out, because I love gymnastics so much, and it's a fun little movie. I bet you no one who's listening has ever seen it, but that's because I'm eccentric and I like weird little things. So
I always feel bad for, maybe I don't need to, people who do gymnastics like that or figure skating and they win like a gold at like 14 or 15, because I don't know what it's like to peak at that young of an age. I would think everything else is like, it's, I mean, you can have a family and be like, this is probably better, but like to peak that early.
I don't know, like, I mean, when they do interviews and stuff, like, the people who... What?
Sorry, I was just thinking, well, then again, I'm probably never going to peak, and then I imagine myself...
Oh, shut up!
No, then I imagine myself trying to do gymnastics, and I would just, like, fall off and hurt myself and cry, because I'm getting older and out of shape. I'd be...
You just jump off the bars.
I would just slip, and they'd be like, well, he's not getting any points for that.
Yeah, they'd be like, well...
I tried so hard.
He's like, I'll respect you for your form, but you're on the wrong set of bars.
I might have pooped myself a bit. Sorry.
I think all gymnasts might have a moment where they're like, oh my god, because it's pretty scary stuff. But no, you peek at other things. I think when they do the reviews, yeah, the reviews, when they interview gymnasts, it sounds like they're just, it's all relative, you know, like when you're 15, like that's... It's weird, because I don't want to say people who are older, like maybe in their late 20s, or even, I don't know, I've seen women in 40s doing the same routines that these young women are doing nowadays. But gymnastics is one of those sports that when you're really young, that's when... I don't know, it's hard to... Think of baseball, like if the age for baseball was like, okay... You can really only play from, like, 15 to maybe, like, 17 or something, you know? That's very small, but if that was like, whoa, this is perfect, your body's perfect at this time. I don't know, like, if you won a gold medal, you'd be like, oh, cool, this was nice, this happened in my life, and then you grow up and you move on to other things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's the same with gymnasts, because they seem to describe it that way. They're like, yeah, I was young and I had this goal, and, you know, I achieved, and I was like, cool, I got this, and then they go... You know, they just go back to regular life and then find something else to do.
That's where I'm lazier than you. I couldn't imagine training for years and years and years for a very small period of time like that. I'd be like, nah, I want to watch some baseball and have some nachos.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I do. I would too, man. God, nachos sound good right now. But, I don't know. It really is like a lifelong thing, because what they do is they do train from like they start at 3 years old. And then all this training just to have maybe... It's very cruel if you think about it. You can't really get into the Olympics unless you're like... I think it's like 15. I'm not sure what the cutoff age is because of like fairness and stuff. Like, I guess you can't have like a 20-year-old competing against a 15-year-old. I don't know. I don't know that much of the details, but you train all your life, you know? You put so much money into it and all this time, and then you only get like maybe 2 shots to get into the Olympics, and if you fail, then you fail. Like, you're done. You know, like if you go on too long, then you're too old, and they won't let you in anymore. So it's kind of like, okay. So I think, and then to answer that question, be like, do a ton of stuff. Like when you do win the medal, usually what people do, since they've been doing it their whole life, they just start their own gym. You know, and then they'll start training kids and that sort of thing. So I guess it's probably more than just, oh, that was cool, I got the gold medal, alright, I'm gonna go off and do something else. Like, it's usually, gymnastics is usually one of those lifelong things that most of the time, I don't know, live and breathe. sleep and breathe? I don't know. What's that even called? I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but basically I'm just saying when you do gymnastics and you want to go in the Olympics, you usually do gymnastics for the rest of your life. Ugh, I'm sweating.
That seems like a weird thing to have someone decide for you when you're 3 years old. I don't know. Maybe I was just a rebel as a 3-year-old. I was like, fuck that. I don't want to do things.
I really wanted to do gymnastics when I was very young, and my parents were like, no, screw your body up. And then they let me do cheerleading when I was like 15, and then my body still got screwed up, so I was kind of like, well, what's the difference? But yeah, no, that's another thing. The movie, I love the movie because it's like, oh yeah, it has gymnastics in it. I love gymnastics, and it just shows like how things kind of work. I'm not sure how accurate the movie is, you know, of like portraying the life and like all that stuff, but it does show you the child abuse, the physical and mental abuse that goes on. Maybe not today, but that went on back then with gymnastics. Because their coaches are bitches to them emotionally, like to a part where it's like, whoa, you're actually going way too far. And then obviously the stuff, they'll have them do things that are just like, no, that's so bad for your body. Like, oh my god, you can't be doing that. And they do it in excess and all that stuff.
So you're saying your favorite sports movie is watching little kids get screamed at. All right, next question.
Next question. We don't have another question.
Master Ian says, today's question, if the two of you were a crime-fighting duo, what would
Oh, shit! Sorry. There was another question, I thought.
What would you call yourselves, and what superpowers would you have?
Whoa. You have no idea how spaced out I am right now.
I can read it again.
No, I heard you say it. I just thought we talked about this. Because remember how we were talking about it before the podcast?
Before the podcast, we're like, we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, and that's what we said, and I kind of thought we talked about it when I was talking about the movie. So, oh wait, okay, so you have like, what, you had like one, I have a good and a bad one.
Okay, let's hear what yours would be.
Okay. So I'm horrible with names, but I think the funny one, we should call our gang, or gang, I don't know, our group, the Financial Guards, because we guard people's finances. And this is how we do it. I have the power to seduce people in the middle of a robbery, the robbers, preferably. So I seduce them into a part of a room, and then Paul has the power to climb walls, if there are walls
so I can
around.
Escape? Oh, there's people here! Paul away!
No. You have a very good role in the thwarting of these robbers. You can either climb walls, if there are walls nearby, and if there aren't walls nearby, you can use all your psychic energy and physical energy to teleport above people to fall on them while I call the cops. See? So that's the good one. That's the silly one.
It's a good excuse for me not to lose any weight, so...
Yeah, you just teleport. It takes a little more mind power because you got to move more, but it's cool. See, you're the football player. You just tackle people from above.
See, that's better than mine. Is that my name, the football player? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can call the football man.
What?
Just
that's
slap
not
down
cool
on people.
Like that.
Football man. Well, what are you gonna call me? I seduce people like and out of robberies. What am I? Well, I don't have a name.
The seductress.
Seducer. The seductress.
I'd rather be like the lineman, the linebacker, you know?
The linebacker.
Not fat guy who falls from the sky.
The quarterback? Do you
No.
You're above
like, I'm
people?
going to tackle people. I'd be like a defensive player.
Oh.
And I don't mean like, what did you say about me? Not that kind of defense. But...
Oh, you say my tights are messed up? Well, fuck you. Your face is
I don't want to wear tights because my balls are going to be squished and sweaty. That don't sound like fun.
I guess being a football player isn't fun, then, is
Well,
it?
they don't wear tights in football. This is ballet.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. They wear tights.
They do not wear tights.
Yes, they do.
They have football pants. Those are tights.
Football pants, tights, whatever. What's your favorite team, by the way?
For what sport?
Football.
The Detroit Lions. Last preseason game is Thursday night. Yeah, regular season is starting in like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. Are you excited for everything?
Hell yeah. Well, technically next week the regular season starts, but their first game is on September 13th, so.
Ooh. Well, sorry, I'm writing this down. I have a special Christmas present for you, and I needed to know that.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
Yeah, so Detroit Lions, awesome. That makes sense, because, you know,
if
next to Detroit.
if you look at my calendar here, there are things I have to do, like podcast And every time there's Lions game, it's written on the calendar.
like Lions game, must watch. No, you know what? I wish I could get as compassionate about things like that. I don't know, like, I feel so bad this whole summer. Summer's almost over, and I didn't even see one Reno Aces game. That's
a shame. I almost put my Reno Aces, Ramming
Raynal.
My Anal Aces shirt on earlier today, so.
I don't know how they played. They could be anal. I don't know.
I went to a couple minor league games this year. So what was your other superhero one?
Oh, it's really depressing. It sounds stupid.
I want to hear it, please.
Okay. I don't have a name. Maybe you could help me with a name.
Depression Core? Sorry.
Well, kind of. Seriously, kind of. So you and I both have psychic powers. We can talk to each other, well, through the brains and such. And our superpowers, okay, so we're both psychic, but we both have sort of like little nuances that are different. I can influence people's emotions. So like if someone's feeling bad, I can make them feel good, And then as soon as they feel good, then I can actually make them feel more good. Like, it's like I can push them in a direction, then I can pull them
For a second, I thought you were going to be like, I can make them feel good, then I can make them feel really bad.
Well, that's what I wrote down. And then your little nuance with your psychic abilities is you can see into people's past. So you can see their history.
That'd be a pretty good power, to be honest.
Yeah. And then, we work together. Like, this is how we go. So we basically... Oh, I wrote this down, and it looks so weird. So we play games with the minds of criminals to get them to give up or die of suicide.
Oh my god, that is dark.
Isn't it dark? But it's kind of cool. It's like, I've always loved, like, the freaking villains who use more of the mental aspects of their powers.
Our name should be, like, Mindfuck, because that's what we're going to do is mindfuck people.
Yeah, well, that would work, too. I had, like, stupid names. I was thinking, like, Choice or The Judges or something.
The Judges isn't bad, I mean...
Well, I mean, like, technically we're not judging them, though. We're just... Because what I'm thinking is, like, okay, this is what this scenario is. Like, how does the superpower work? Well, basically, like, let's say a guy has a gun to someone's head. And he's like, I'm going to blow this guy's head off if I don't get, like, $1 million. So, like, we kind of walk up and we just sort of, like, stare at him. We don't say anything. So we have the power to talk to people, in their minds, but we also have the power to, like, lull them into kind of like a catatonic state. Okay, I thought this out way too much. This sounded like fanfic, but I'll get it over quickly.
If you do write it, I'll read it.
Okay, because, I mean, this is what I was thinking, like, so we do that, and what I do is well, basically, we tell him, like, is this something you really want to do? And then we find what emotional state he's in, if he really does want to do it, or if he really is kind of, like, mixed about it. So if I see he's mixed about it, then I'll tell you about it through, was it, telepathy?
Yep.
Isn't that telepathy moving, or that's talking through the brain? Okay, telepathy, I'll tell you that, and then you'll look into his past and see if he has anything that I could possibly tell him that would make him change his mind. Because then I'll make him feel more about it. Like, if you say, oh, he's got a kid, and you tell me that, then I'll be like, oh, but don't you have a kid? And then I'll pull him more in the direction of, like, oh, you're not gonna do this.
Okay, that's better than I thought. What I thought you meant is, like, we'd go in there and I'd be like, when you were 3 years old, you put your balls in your cat's face. And he's like, oh,
Well,
And then you punch him while he's distracted.
That actually sounds... They need to go in the funny one, though. And go up there in the funny one. I just wrote that down. In the funny one! I know how to file things. But, yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. And then, like, if he's really so... Like, there's a guy who's got kind of, like... I don't know if he's got a ton of people and he's just gonna blow them up. And then we're like...
I'd be like, dude, are you gonna blow everybody here?
And he'll be like, yeah, and then I'll be like, yeah, did you blow those people when you were younger? And then he'll be like, oh, God, and he'll feel really bad, and then I'll say, you might as well kill yourself, and then he'll kill himself, and then everyone will be okay.
Passive-aggressive police thing.
Yeah. Well, no, that was thinking, though, just, like, if we have to. We're not really super, that's what I love about that, though, is that we're not really superheroes. You know, our methods are very... It's debatable whether or not we're actually the good guys, so it makes us kind of, you know, like, ooh... Sell that on the front page, man. Because if we need someone out of our way, then we'll just make them kill themselves.
I do like morally ambiguous heroes.
Yes. So that was my two. The financial guards and then the judges, I guess, which I don't really like. Maybe just say... Fuck, I don't know what a good name for that is, but we'd be hired... We be hired, man. We're hired help. When we hang around like our lair, and times I'd be like, oh, you did this when you were 5, and you're like, quit doing that. They're like, stop it. I've already told you all this through the mouth, man. I told you a lot about my childhood, so that would be kind of funny. You'd be like, oh yeah, did you tell me this? I'd be like, yes.
I remember when you took that shower when you were 18. You're like, quit being a creep. Oh, sorry.
I'm like, you do? Oh my god, I don't remember how that went. Tell me.
It's true, you never took a shower when you were 18. How about you get on that? Oh.
Oh man, it's too late now. Okay.
Never too late to take a shower. Brought to you by the Shower Council.
Yep. Take showers for longer hours.
With people. Save water. Sorry?
No. I was just thinking, I was like, well, it depends on the people you're taking a shower with.
Yeah, really... definitely.
No, I mean, like, does it really save water? Because, I mean, like, you know, if you take a shower with someone, and you're like,
I thought you meant just in general, like, be careful who you shower with. Yeah, that's good advice.
Well, I mean, you know, I already have that intact, that sort of logic. So I'm just thinking, like, I'm assuming the person I take a shower with is the person that I'll probably want to, you know, I'll want to tell secrets to.
Because that's what the shower time is. It's secret time.
It's secret time where we do secret things to our secret places.
Oh, they got more sexual. I'd just be like, I didn't do my taxes on time before. Oh, what are you
touching?
That
ain't no secret. Wait, you're telling people how you didn't do your taxes while you're touching them? That sounds
I assume they would touch me. I'd be oblivious. I'll tell an inappropriate story. I remember once, you know, sometimes you date someone and you take a romantic shower. I was once dating someone and she was like, oh, let's take a shower together. And all she wanted to do, like, she didn't want to do anything romantic, like make out or do any of the fun stuff. She was just like, okay.
She just wanted to take a shower.
Yes. I was like, okay, that was odd.
Well, that seems like an like, if she wanted to do that, that would be like an after.
Yeah, it was just like, you're just lonely.
Yeah, like, I understand, because there are times I'm like, I would not mind sharing a shower with someone. Like, I really wouldn't. Like, yeah, Gamerpixie is such a pervert. No, I really don't care. But I would assume if someone wants, because who wants to take showers with other people? I mean, like, unless you want something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and gross story-wise, too, I think it's gross to pee in the shower. That's why you have a toilet. So
who the fuck?
So we're taking a shower, and at some point she's like, you probably want to leave. And I'm like, why? She's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh! So she was gonna pee in the shower.
Fuck?
At least, yeah. I was like, but needless to say, we don't date anymore. Like, I'm not gonna say who it was.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, like, ew, peeing in the shower. Well, I mean, if she was, like, really nice and, like, her only flaw was peeing in the shower, I mean, that'd be kind of like...
It was one of the weirder moments I've ever had when dating someone, to say the least.
I can't believe she told you, though.
Well, she knew I didn't like it. She was just like, yeah, you probably want to leave. But I'm just like...
No, I mean, like, just hold it in, woman. Yeah. And then, like, when he's not taking showers with you, go ahead and piss. That's fine. I mean, I don't know. The whole thought of it makes me cringe. I don't really think it's a... I guess, is it... I can't really see anything wrong with it. I mean, is that water treated differently, like coming out of the shower, than the water in a toilet? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't usually shower in the toilet, do you?
Fuck you! No, no. I mean, like, you know, when it goes to the sewage or like.
Oh no, in that way probably not. But the fact is, it still gets on the bottom. It's like, I don't want to take a shower in the toilet. I don't want to be in there where someone's, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's like talking about it makes me feel kind of dizzy.
Sorry.
Like you. No, you're fine. I don't know if it's my new meds or something, but I'm like, oh god, like things gross me out more. But that's funny. I can't. Well, I don't know. Like I just can't believe she asked you. If I was her, I would have just held it and then pretended like I never done it, and then like did it while you weren't in there. But I don't know.
That would have made more sense. Did you have any more superhero ones? You said those were the two. I like those actually.
Oh, those are the only ones, yeah, because, I mean...
The mind-fucking one is actually kind of creepy and scary, but that's why it's interesting.
It is, right? Well, I was thinking, you know, I was like, oh, I want to have a silly one, because, you know, we're silly, we're goofy, and that's right. Yeah. Whoa, Pluto! Okay, I can't. Oh, God. But, yeah, I just... I wanted a darker one because I went for a walk before the podcast, and I couldn't answer this question like all day yesterday and all day today. I was like, oh my god, I can't answer this question. And I was thinking about how they had, you know, superheroes who were kind of like, it was lighthearted, and then they made them really, really dark and like, ugh. And I was like, oh, Paul and I are really lighthearted. Let's make ourselves dark and gritty. Also, I may have been influenced by some Metal Gear Solid villains, so...
I'll admit, when I first got the question, I didn't know what to do either. My first thought was, whenever people are like, what superpower would you have? My thing is always like, I want to be super strong so I can either like throw a baseball really hard or play football really well and help my lions or tigers and make a ton of money.
And bears, so much!
And people are like, that's not a crime fighting thing. I'm like, I don't care.
I don't give a fuck. If I got superpowers, they're gonna be super for me.
But the more I thought about it when it came to relation of me and you, like a crime duo, it actually made me think of a film. I don't know if you've ever seen the film Super.
Ooh.
It has Rainn Wilson in it, and it has like Ellen Page in it, and Liv Tyler's in it.
Ooh, no. I've probably seen it, but no, I don't.
What it is basically Rainn Wilson. He was Dwight on The Office, the American version. He plays this middle-aged loser, and his wife leaves him, and he goes crazy. And he thinks he gets a vision from God to become a superhero. And to try and save his wife, and his wife is dating someone who's a drug dealer now, and so he just literally goes nuts, and he's like, I'm gonna become a superhero, so he makes his own outfit, and it's all shitty, like if I made one, that's what it would be, and his superpower is a wrench. He has a pipe wrench he runs around and he hits people with.
Well, that's a pretty good
And like, it's a dark comedy. It gets like really violent and brutal, and then later on he meets this girl as he's trying to figure out how to be a superhero, and she works at a comic book place, and she's really nerdy and chipper and upbeat, and she finds the positive thing, but she's got this really dark side where she wants to fight crime too. And like the first time she helps him fight crime, she like beats the guy to death because she gets into it too much. And then I was like, that's totally me in Gamerpixie, because I'm like the down crazy person, and just like, I wouldn't have a superpower. I'd be like, I got a pipe wrench, bam, and she'd be the person who's like, oh, this is the happy thing. Look at this thing we can do. Oh, I'm having so much fun fighting crime.
Yes, and then I'd beat a guy to death and be like, he's cute.
You would too. It's a really dark comedy, but I think it's still on Netflix. That's what it made me think of. If you haven't seen it, if you like dark comedies,
is it called?
It's called Super.
Super? Okay, and it's got Dwight from The Office?
Yeah, Dwight from The Office, and it's got Ellen Page and Liv Tyler, and Kevin Bacon's the bad guy in it.
Kevin Bacon?
Kevin Eggs and Bacon.
Could go for some right now. No, I really could. I didn't eat breakfast. No, it sounds like a pretty interesting movie. I just wrote down the things so I can watch it.
Yeah, that was one of those...
I kind of have...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
That was one of those... Like, every once in a while, you know, you got some time to kill, and you're on Netflix, and you're like, what the hell is this? That was one of them. My two favorite films I discovered on Netflix are that one, which is kind of dark. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and Losers Take All, which is a movie about kids who make a punk band, so...
Oh, well, see, you waste time better than I do on Netflix, because the last thing I was wasting time with Netflix was the Kraft Brothers. The animal things. They had a show on PBS.
Was that Zaboomafoo? Because they had two shows, didn't they?
You and me and Zaboomafoo. Well, they didn't really have two shows. Like, that was the show when they were young, you know? And then they made a cartoon when they were older. Because they got old and ugly. And, like, I guess kids can't see ugly old people.
That happens. The older I get, the less people can see me. I'm like a ghost.
Ooh, but I knew he was dead the whole time. I knew he was dead. Boy. Yeah, so that reminds you of us, huh? Reminds you of us trying to save another person who's dating a drug dealer, and I'm a comic book person, and you're a crazy wrench man.
Well, like in it, she's all nerdy, and she knows, like, all kinds of stuff, and that's what you're like, and you're usually upbeat and chipper, though you have a dark side. And
I do, yes.
Her character is like that, and it was like, instantly, as soon as I thought of those, and he just runs around, and he's kind of crazy when he uses the Force. And I don't mean, like, Star Wars-wise, but, like, somebody's trying to mug an old lady, and he beats the fucking crap out of him with a wrench.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, oh, that's how we would
be. That's like me! That's me! That's what I would do!
I wouldn't be a superhero or a crime fighter, but if I was, I think I would take it too far. It's like when you're a kid and you start to get bigger and you're playing with other kids, and then you hurt someone accidentally, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, shit, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you kind of, like, freak out. That's good. I got lucky. I didn't have a lot of those awkward moments because I would, like, play with kids who were always, like, bigger than me. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't have to feel this awkwardness. And then I became older, and then I feel awkward all the time.
That is what adult life is. Maybe that could be our superpower, is just making things awkward and then the criminals leave.
Well, I guess, like, in an alternative universe, because you and I are awkward scientists, we'd be like, you know, we might be the villains in a superhero sort of world, you know, we'd be like, science! You go first.
You know what I would love to see? That your power is, like, the superhero tries to stop us, but you really hurt them because you say something that sticks with them. He's like, I stopped you this time. Oh, you were really good at that, weren't you? And then, like, the day later, he's like, it's still bugging him. How'd she get in my mind? Am I good at this?
Did she do that?
Yes.
I'll be like, well, you've been fighting crime for this long, so I guess this would be an achievement, wouldn't it?
Yes!
He's like, oh.
Quickly, Pixie, use passive aggressiveness on him. He's gonna have to go to therapy for a long time.
Well, you could have shut the door before you came in here, but I guess we're just not that super, are we? Yeah.
He would hear that echo in his voice, like, later on if it was a film. Not that super, are we? Not that super.
Are we?
Yes.
But then he has to find our weakness. Okay, for awkward scientists, what would your weakness be?
Bullets. People always ask me, they're like, what's your weakness? Bullets.
Well, bats then would be your weakness too. The one that flies in your face and chews your eyes out.
Are there a lot of those? Bats tend to be pretty mellow.
Well, you know, there's bats in Africa. Everything in Africa, man.
What? What? Did you just offend an entire continent?
It's cool. They know.
I went to Africa and a moth beat the crap out of me. Oh, this moth! No!
It did land on someone and then give them a disease, so I mean, you know. It's kind of like the South.
Oh, that everything's poisoned?
Yeah, everything is, like, very aggressive.
No, I remember that when I moved down there, because I grew up here in Michigan, and there's, like, nothing poisonous down here. Then when I moved down to Baton Rouge, and there's poisonous everything. I remember one day I saw this caterpillar, and it had, like, these little spiky things, and I was going to go touch it, and I was like...
It's poisonous as shit, man.
I was like, I don't know. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this thing is poisonous, too. Okay.
Everything's poisonous in the South. It hates people, and it's super aggressive. Like, have you seen the wasps they got down there?
Well, I used to live down there. I don't know if they compete with the desert wasps you talk about, though.
Oh, yeah, no, they do. Well, desert wasps will chase you and shit. But they got wasps in the South that are like, if they'll build their house, their little homes, like maybe on your patio, and if you're even, like, in 15 feet of them, they will come attack you. Like, you won't even do anything, and they'll attack you.
Though it's not anything you have to worry about. It was more creepy. They don't have banana spiders where you are, do they?
Well, we don't have bananas, so no. I know.
Well done. I remember one time in Louisiana, I saw a banana spider that was bigger than my hand, and its net must have been like 5 feet across. Or it's not. Dude, it's web, not net. So
that's the truth, though. Like, I don't know. Like, when you get to, well, it's weird. I don't know. Like, where I live, yeah, I get the desert creatures, so they're a little more.
Well, you got like scorpions and like copperheads and shit, right?
We did. Well, yes, we
Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks sounds like something that should be in a rap song.
I got bit by a diamondback. Gamerpixie, we could make that into a rap song. No, I'm really dying. Yeah, those lyrics are the bomb, yo. We're using them.
Seriously, I'd be like, okay, you drive yourself to the hospital. I'll write these down.
And then I'm gonna get some code and mod per app of the rapper so we can put that in the game.
Oh. Diamondback bite. I can't think.
Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead. I was trying to think of a lyric right now.
I was gonna be like, you could be like, yeah, we'll use the O's as you're breathing hard and dying. You're like, yeah, we can turn that into a mix.
Fuck. Cut me some slack, Diamondback. It took me so long to think of that, and that was fucking awful. No, but what I was gonna say is, how does the South do that, though? Because, like, is the South actually... I don't know, is it just the animals are more wild? Because where I live, the animals are aggressive because it's desert. You know, there's not a lot of water, there's not a lot of greenery, you know, so they don't... prey has a hard time finding... predators have a hard time finding prey because of the lack of... You know, like, wasps eat things that, like... water. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's a different aggressiveness. Like, I don't know why are creatures in the South so angry? Why are they so aggressive? Like, why? Is it hard to live in the South? Like, what's
maybe it's just hot and humid and they're grumpy? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, maybe, because I don't...
We don't have that problem up here, because up here, either the cold weather or humans have killed off everything dangerous except other humans a long time ago.
Yeah, well, no, you were telling me you don't... I know we talked about this, you guys, like maybe a couple podcasts ago, but, Paul and I are getting up in years, so we gotta, talk about things again so we can remember. You don't even have black widows or brown recluses where you live,
no,
because it's too cold.
No, the first time I ever saw those that wasn't at a zoo was when I moved down into Louisiana.
They have black widows at a zoo?
Yeah.
Well, in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, well, isn't that funny, though? That's funny, because, I walked down...
No, because those aren't normal things up here, so it makes sense to have them.
And that's what I mean. It's just funny how it's like, oh, I take it for granted, because I drive to work and there's, before I go into work, open the door, there's black widows, there's a ton of black widows just hanging out in the bushes. It's just funny to be like, oh, what I see every day and I don't give a fuck about is actually people are paying money to see. I don't know. It's just funny to me. Well, you know.
Well, I guess that's what zoos are. I mean, if you live in some part of the world where, I don't know.
Penguins?
Well, not a lot of people live where penguins are, but...
Yeah, I know. So it's kind of I guess penguins make the most sense in orcas. What person in wherever rhinoceroses are going to be like, oh my god, I can't believe people pay to see these?
Aren't rhinoceroses, at least some of them, endangered, though? So that probably makes it more
really
interesting, but...
I would think so, yeah. I mean, I've never... do you like zoos?
Yeah, they're okay. I have mixed feelings. I like them on one hand, and the other hand, I always feel guilty going, because you're looking at an animal prison. That's how I feel. So
yeah,
I don't... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please. You're probably going to say the same thing.
I don't ever bring that up when I'm with people, because I don't want to be a killjoy. I don't want to be like emo guy, like, this is an animal prison where they're waiting to die. But I look at them and I'm like, I remember I went to a zoo in Baton Rouge and they had these elephants, and they had the elephants do tricks. And, elephants are really smart creatures. I'm just like, these poor creatures are living in a small area, and this is their life.
Mm-hmm. But then... Yeah, no, that's what I do, whenever, that's why I don't like going to the zoo, is because I overthink things, you and I, we overthink things, and, I'll debate in my brain about it. I'll be like, okay, on one hand, I do want these animals not to be caged, but at the same time, I'm like, well, they are receiving, the best care that they would ever have, instead of being, compared to being out in the wild by themselves, they're actually getting the meals they need. They have vets and stuff. And then at the same time, I'm like, but, being out in nature, that's what they were meant to be, and then that's natural for them. And then, of course, I just kind of bat an eyelash and then forget all of that, and then I'm like... And then I go to the argument, is natural always a good thing? Is that always a good thing? And then I start thinking about that, but that's kind of why I don't like going to zoos, because I do, I can't just go to the zoo and be like, oh, look, that's really cool. I'm like, whoa, there's a big moral dilemma, debate going on in my brain, because, yeah, I do feel like some of the animals shouldn't be in there, but that's mostly the circumstance of the animal. It's they'll have an animal that's perfectly healthy, nothing was wrong with it. Because most of the zoos I went to, like the Sacramento Zoo in California, most of the animals were, injured or orphaned, and they couldn't be released back into the wild. So it was kind of like that happy medium of, oh, okay.
Since you used to live out in California, did you ever get down to San Diego to their zoo?
I did go to San Diego, but I did not go to their zoo, which really fucking sucks, because I had a ton of friends who did, and that zoo looks really awesome. About how they treat their animals, I'm not entirely sure, I can't say. But it looks like a hell of fun to be there.
In the zoo? Are you like, I want a pixie display, put me in...
Yeah, I'd love to sit in a cage and then go, ah! Ah! And then scream at people. And then, be like, feed me. I know the sign doesn't say to feed me, but I haven't eaten in days. Give me some food. And then scream at children.
I think it'd be weird having people watch you poop. That'd be odd.
I would try not... You know what? I wouldn't do it until they were like, oh... Well, I would hope they would let me leave to do that. Now we're getting into a whole nother... We're opening a whole new can of pickles here. If people were, like... Would you go to a zoo of people?
No.
If they were, like... No. Like, they were, like, willingly putting themselves on display.
No, I couldn't do that, no.
Because it'd be too weird. Yeah. Like, that's weirder. Well, I mean, I know strip clubs are, like, normal, but still. I mean, strip clubs kind of weird me out in the whole, like, paying to see someone's body.
I'm the same way. I don't... I used to date someone, they were like, let's go to a strip club. I'm like, that's weird, no. Yeah. And then I'm cheap, too. It's like, I'm not paying for that. I can get it for free.
Well, yeah, no, seriously. Like, if, I don't know, like, if some guy was like, oh, yeah, I want to watch porn together, it'd be kind of like, well, porn you can get for free, yeah. So. But I'd still, why don't, that's, they were talking about zoos, peoples, and then porns. Just, lordy.
It's the internet.
It is the internet for you, but I don't know, that's another thing. Well, anyway, do you think we should end this episode?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and it's been a lot of fun hanging out with my good friend, Gamerpixie.
Thanks, guys, for listening to us once again. We can't wait to talk to each other so you can listen to us next time on podcast number 14. Hopefully this is 13, so we're not sounding silly. But if it is, it's cool. We ain't perfect, right? Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.